Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? X marks the spot. Now when you get Xfinity Internet for 12 months, you can add the new Stream Saver for $15. That includes Netflix, Peacock, and Apple TV+. That's Xfinity Internet and Stream Saver for just $35 a month. All your favorites, all in one place, all for one low price. For more watching and less spending, X marks the spot. Switch to Xfinity, the network made for streaming, and bring on the good stuff.
Dion Closer with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet, the fastest internet with multi-gig speeds to the most homes. All right, we kick off the Suburban Blue virtual media day with Jacob Danman from Excelsior Springs, the new head coach, come over from Kearney as an assistant on that state championship winning team last year. How exciting for you is it to be a head coach in a place like Excelsior Springs that loves football and has a great tradition to be over there and taking over that program?
Real excited. Like I said, I've been living here for 9 years now. This is our hometown now. It's where we're raising our family, and it's always different when you're coming home. Not to knock on anywhere else I've ever been, but it's just a little bit different. You got some pizzas in the oven here. So it's different. I'm really excited. Um, I've been doing this a long time, and I think there was one job I was going to leave anywhere for to be a head coach. It'd be this job.
Well, tell me this. I know that you were talking before. Everything's different. So how's that going? That's a transition. I'm assuming with a lot of change that these kids now are kind of used to it, and it's may take a little to sink in, but they're used to what's changing.
It is everything from what I said when we walk into the building to how we hit the weight room to what we look like at practice, how we stretch, how we warm up, everything's new to them, and I think it's refreshing for them as well. They get to do something new, but it still all comes back to football. Um, but we hit the summer hard with weights. We've been kind of holding off on football. We don't want to overload them with changing everything up in the weight room, changing everything up, and how we do things. We kind of just hit it in sporadically in parts, so we didn't overload these kids. So it's installing all this stuff, yeah, challenging, but it has to be done, and you have to have that stuff ready before that first Friday night.
How quickly are they taken to your offense?
Very well. I brought over Coach Hayes, a guy I've known for 25 years. He actually recruited me in college, so we've known each other a long time. He's been with at Staley High School. He's been all over the place. So I brought him over to help install the offense because I know what he does after coaching against him all those years. I know what gives me fits, and he's got those things. So I'm real happy with my staff in that sense. And the kids are really liking it because they were under center. They were running the football a ton and all those things. Now we're the ball. Everybody asks, "Are you going to throw the ball?" Yes, we're going to throw the football. Simply said, yes, we are throwing the football. But the kids are coming around real well, and I think they're enjoying it.
Defensively, how's that side coming along?
Very good. Actually, my expertise is on the defensive side, and so I'm going to be our defense coordinator as well. So it's coming along real well. As you know, defense comes along a lot faster than offense. So it's looking really good at times, but is that because our offense is coming along a little bit slower? So, but both sides of the ball are coming along really well. We like to keep our schemes simple and not complex, so the kids can grasp it. So, and then we'll just grow as the year goes on.
Well, I kind of think about defense like rebounding in basketball. It's just effort and execution will get you
That's
a long way. And it
long way.
sounds like your guys are really taking to that.
Yeah, we've had great effort all summer. We've had great numbers all summer. That's the big thing. We've had kids just coming out of the woodworks. I mean, we're having to buy new helmets, new equipment, everything. We got so many kids coming out. So it's been a good thing. It's a good problem to have. Expensive problem to have, but it's a good problem to have. But our effort has been great. How these kids showed up in our camp in May, and how we hit the weight room and working on our speed and agility stuff. Effort's not an issue whatsoever. Okay, showing up and effort's not an issue. Just grasping the concepts, the schemes, and the system, and executing those.
Well, Coach, it sounds like you guys are off to a great start. Should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Dion Clissa with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. Count on a reliable connection for all your devices, even when everyone's online. All right, as we continue to move through the Suburban Blue Virtual Media Day, we're joined by new Grandview coach Dwayne D. And Coach, congratulations on getting the head coaching job. I know you were on staff last year with Coach Joyner. What's it been like taking over and being that number one spot? That's got to be kind of an eye opener, probably.
It definitely is. It's definitely been a whirlwind. I'm enjoying every moment, though. A lot of eye openers, a lot of hard work having to go in. And especially, it's even harder when you got to come behind a great coach like Coach Joyner. I learned a lot from him. So hopefully I could build on to something and create something special here at Grandview.
Well, and you guys were building the last few years, and on the field, a very good football team, and it was getting better, getting better. What did you take from that, and how nice was it that you were already on staff when you made this transition? You just weren't walking in the door. You know these kids. You were here, and you saw that change. How did that help this offseason?
It definitely helped having that prior relationship with our guys. It meant a lot to them. Of course, a lot of them were, they were very hurt, kind of confused after Coach Joyner had left. So just me being there to kind of pick them up, let them know, hey, the future's still bright. The success is going to be built off of the work that you guys put in. So just being there, continue to motivate them and push them, that really helped us a lot.
Well, I know you guys lost some good seniors off that team, but you got good numbers coming back, 6 on each side. What do you like about your offense right now?
Right now, our offense is very dynamic. I love it. We could get out there and do a lot of different things. It's going to put us in a good position. We got some younger guys that have stepped up. They're ready to play. I'm really excited about it. Tell you the truth.
Defensively, what have you seen over on that side that's really taken a big step forward, or a group that's really coming together?
Defensively, more specific to linebackers and our defensive ends, and even our DBs. I'm excited about our whole defense. We're making a shift from a new scheme this year on the defensive side of the ball. But I really believe those guys are coming out ready to play. They're chomping at the bit right now, so I'm excited.
When you go into week one, is there one thing you're kind of focused on? Like, hey, we need to clean this up here in the next week and a half, or it's something that you're doing well. Let's continue to hammer that home because we're going to need to do that week one.
Just discipline and fundamentals right now. You got to always have those fundamentals lined out, and that discipline aspect. We got to be focused even when things get out of our hand, get out of reach. I don't want the guys falling apart. I want us to always be able to revert back to what's the right thing to do. So just that main aspect, and then some fundamentals. You always got, at the end of the day, you can have all the skill you want, all the speed, all the talent, but if you don't have any fundamentals, you're kind of lost.
Well, no doubt, Coach. It should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Dion Clissa with Preps KC from the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. Fastest internet with multi-gig speeds to the most homes. All right, as we move through the Suburban Blue Virtual Media Day, we move on to the defending Class 4 state champions, Kearney Bulldogs, the coach Logan M. And what a great season for you guys last year. I know you started off, and the funny thing was you lost a few games in the first couple of weeks. And I talked to an opposing coach, because you were banged up a little there to start the season, who said, do not cry for them. They will be fine. That's a really good football team. And all you guys did was get better and better each week, and just kept, and in the end, really rolled through the playoffs, and with an offense that couldn't really be stopped, and a defense that played really tough. And you lost a lot of players off that team, but were you able to get a lot of experience with these guys that were behind them, especially like the extra weeks of practice going 15 weeks? Did that help this group that's coming up this year?
I think so. I think, the teams that are good year in and year out always get those extra weeks. And then by the time those kids are seniors, they've played almost a whole nother season than some of the other teams. So it was definitely beneficial for us. Obviously, we lost some really good players. We're excited about, we've got 4 all-state kids back, and that were really dang good players for us. So we've got some good pieces to build around as we come back. But definitely we'll look a little bit different. Like you said, we got healthy at the right time. We were so banged up to start the year, but it almost, I hate the old saying of, man, those losses were good for us, but it kind of taught us that, where we needed to put kids and where we could be. And then once we got healthy, as you said, we rolled pretty well.
Well, for you, this is your third year there, but you've been there before. This is kind of the Kearney thing, back when Coach Jones was there, they'd go deep and he'd have big senior classes and those kids would wait for their turns. Do you have good size numbers, and has that been coming back the last few years?
Yeah, definitely. We've got more kids out this year than I've had in my 3 years. We've got 140 kids,
Oh, wow.
9 through 12, which for Class 4 is pretty solid. And as you said, once you get it rolling, we're going to try to continue to keep it rolling. The whole town's excited now. The expectations are higher, so there's a little pressure here. But yeah, we've told our kids every year, we don't rebuild here at Kearney. We just we reload, if the old saying goes. So we're excited about the kids we have coming in. Our JV lost one game, and the freshman team went undefeated. So we've got good pieces that we are going to replace kids with. So we're excited about our team.
Well, I know it's not Friday nights, and that's a different animal being under those lights on Friday nights. But is it good to see those underclassmen winning games and knowing how to finish in games? That's a huge thing, even though it's not Friday night is a different animal.
Yeah, 100%. The expectation is we go out and we're going to compete in every game at every level. Now we're really big on at the lower level, making sure all our kids get playing time. I tell our freshman coaches, this year we've got, I think, 50 some freshmen. So your job at the end of the year is to make sure we can still have 50 freshmen. Because there's always sleepers in those classes. You want kids to play. That's what keeps your numbers up. And you'll always find some gyms in there that, gosh, they may be the worst players in America right now as freshmen. And then they mature and they develop, and then they're solid starters for you as seniors. So we've got a really good thing going, 8 through 12 with our program. And we just had our midnight madness scrimmage, 12:01. We're making sure we're waiting until that 6th day. I've heard that's a little thing going around right now. But we had our youth scrimmages prior to that. They started at 9 o'clock. And so we have kindergarten through 7th grade scrimmages out there, and the whole town's there. It's wild how many people are there, and how much, the Kearney community cares about their football.
Offensively, what are you guys going to look like this year?
We'll be a lot of the same. I've always offensively just found ways to kind of cater our offense to the kids we have. We want to run the football when we can, and then hopefully get you in some single coverages or where you got to load the box and then take shots as needed. But as you say, though, we graduated 3 first-team All-State kids at the skill positions, and then Cohen Jacobs was a second-team All-State kid. So we're replacing everybody but one back. So it may look a little different. We'll definitely be a little bit younger. But again, we've got some young talent coming up, and then we'll really lean on, Joe Sharons and Tyra Smith were All-State offensive linemen last year that are back. Ace Biddix was a starter for us last year as a junior. So we're gonna build around those 3 for sure, and then try to find some ways to score some points.
Defensively, what have you seen that you really like this summer?
I like the way our defense is flying around. We've got a lot of experience. They may not have been starters, but we've got some experience there. And anytime you can build a defense around Theo Grace in the middle, first team All-State linebacker that's back. And then we also have Grant Nolan back, who was out with a collarbone all season until the playoffs last year, who would have been an All-State player. Both those kids are committed to North Dakota already, so we've got some talent there. And then there's this little rumor around that we had some defensive ends move in from Iowa. So you'll see we've got 2 really talented kids, in Isaac and Mason Beaver, that'll be juniors for us this year on the defensive line. We were really questioning when you graduate 2 senior All-State defensive linemen, you're a little nervous. And then we've had 2 pretty special ones come to us. Dad relocated down here, got promoted. So it was kind of a good deal for us. But so I'd expect us to be really tough defensively.
Well, Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
All righty. Thank you.
Dion Clisso with Preps KC here in the Xfinity Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet, the fastest internet with multi-gig speeds to the most homes. As we move to the Suburban White Virtual Media Day, we're joined by Raytown South coach William Harrison. Coach, great season for you guys last year. Really a lot of hard work you put in to get that program turned around. Good group of seniors move on. But what about these young guys that they've learned in this process has them ready to kind of step in and be ready to contribute now and not take, huge steps back because you guys have made so much progress?
I think the biggest thing that they probably can take away from what we've done the last couple of years is just seeing the transition from being a program that was losing a lot of games and not really developing and things like that to being a program where there's expectations and seeing guys before them win games and go through that process. So I think the biggest benefit for those guys is just kind of seeing how to win and seeing how to prepare and seeing how to practice.
Offensively, I know you don't have a lot of players back, but what do you like about that side right now, how they're working?
We had the 5A defensive player of the year, a kid that went to Iowa State and was really explosive for us on offense, and he did a lot for us. I think the thing that I like about our offense is you've got to account for everybody now. We're young, but we're talented, and those guys, they all are playmakers. And so I think the thing that I like the most is that it's not just one guy you have to account for, and you can't really double team one guy. Like, you've got to be on your toes across the board. And so I think that's the thing I like about our offense is that our ability to kind of attack from all platforms, all parts of the field.
Well, I know you're a defensive guy, so that's where I'm not saying that you don't treat him equally as a head coach, but I know where you come from. What do you like about that group, and is there a position group that's been moving maybe ahead of what you thought, or is really doing great work?
It's really similar to the offense. We're young, but those guys, they work, and like I said, they've seen defenders before them, seniors that graduated, and kind of understand the scheme and things like that. And so I think their football IQ is a lot higher than the guys we had previously. They may not have the high-end talent that we had last year, but across the board, football-wise, they're really smart individuals, and they understand the game, and so they can pick up things better than those other guys, and it kind of makes up for not having as much athleticism and talent as the previous class did.
There's a lot of this just because it's the fourth year of a as you get 4 or 5 years as you get into this, just everybody on the same page, your staff with the kids year in, year out. That now that you've had groups go through, everybody kind of knows exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, no, we've had conversations in the off season with as a staff. As you know, it kind of reminds us of my first year here. We were really young and we were playing some young guys, but I think the difference is these young guys understand practice, they understand hard work, they understand those things. Those bodies look different than they did 3 years ago, and so it's high school football usually goes in waves unless you're just one of those top tier programs that reloads every single year. It kind of goes in waves, and we're in our wave phase, and we look different though, which is the promising thing about playing a bunch of young kids is they understand football, they understand the expectation. My coaching staff does a really good job, and so those kids are far ahead of where that senior class that just graduated was as sophomores.
Well, Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and I appreciate you taking time with us.
All right, no problem, Dion. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Dion Clisso with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. Fastest internet with multi-gig speeds to the most homes. As we move through the Suburban Blue Virtual Media Day, we come to new Smithville coach Josh Spear, and you're not really new. You've been there a long time. Coach Ambrosen left to go to William Jewell, take that job, and you were named the head coach. And I talked to some people around the Smithville, including a former coach, who were thrilled to see you get that job. How exciting is it to be the head coach at Smithville, where you've been a really good assistant for a long time?
Yeah, thanks, Dion. I couldn't be more excited about the job. One of my saying in life is you bloom where you're planted. And I was planted here 15 years ago, and this place has been really good to me. We've had opportunities to go other places and do other things, and something just kept pulling us back to Smithville, me and my family. And this is the place we want to be. I tell people all the time, there's 3 things with Smithville why I really wanted the job. It's our kids. We have phenomenal kids here. The community, the support the community gives us, and our coaching staff. Those guys are next to none that we have. There's a core group of us that we've been together for 8 or 9 years. We're familiar with each other. We know each other. Well, we spend a lot of time together. So at the end of the day, it really came down to those three things are a big majority of why we want to be here.
Well, Coach, you guys had another solid season last year. I know it didn't end the way you want. We saw Kearney go on and have a great year. That says a lot when there's two teams in the same conference, handing the state championship back and forth to a certain extent. But you lost some good players off of last year's team. But Smithville, you guys have been able to plug in juniors and seniors every year. What do you like about this group, especially offensively, as we start?
Yeah, I love our guys up front on both sides of the football. I feel like that's going to be a big strength for our team. The core group of the guys that we have coming back, a lot of them are our guys up front on the offensive and defensive lines. And I love the energy this team has. These guys, since day one of summer workouts, we come out there as coaches. They're out there lined up 5 minutes, ready to go on the line, ready to start. They were hooting and hollering, just the energy that they bring and the focus that they've had thus far. I'm just really excited about those guys to get rolling with them.
On the defensive side, is there a position group that's taking a big step forward for you?
Yeah. Once again, our defensive line, linebackers, those box players we're really excited about. We got a couple defensive linemen back up front that we really like, along with a couple of linebackers. One has played that position before, and we've kind of moved. We moved the D lineman to linebacker, moved the safety to linebacker. So we just really like those box guys that we have coming back. We have a couple of secondary guys that we're excited about to do some things in the secondary too.
As you go forward, and like you said, you've been on staff there for 15, been under two different coaches. Now that it's your turn, is there anything that you always say, I want to try this, or I want to do that? If I get that spot, is there something, whether it's just a fun drill or a new tradition or something, is there anything that you kind of put your own stamp on here in the last 6-8 months?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. We've kept a lot of intact of what we've been doing the last 9 or 10 years. If it's not broke, you don't want to change it. So we've done a lot of great things and won a lot of games around here, and the continuity with our staff has really helped with that. Now, on the other hand, there are some little things that we've changed here and there. Being a defensive guy, I don't know how much our offensive staff has loved me being in there giving ideas and telling them we need to do this and implement this. As just coming from a defensive guy, they're like, you need to go back over to the defensive room. So it's been a kind of an adjustment for those guys. They're great at taking feedback, but I've been more involved with the offense than I've ever had before. So that's it's been a fun part for me, just being with those guys, learning from those guys, giving my input here and there, and then just taking some ideas and just running with them.
Well, Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Awesome, Dion. Thanks.
Dion Closo with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. Count on a reliable connection for all your devices, even when everyone's online. All right, we close out the Suburban Blue Media Day as we do alphabetically with Wetonka and Coach John Crutcher. And Coach, going into your third season, and first year was tough, no wins, got a couple wins last year, but a lot of these guys you have playing and starting right now have started for you for 2 years, or definitely last year. This is an experienced group you got brought back. You got to feel pretty good about it.
We do. We needed to spend more time in the offseason on some leadership issues, trying to build those leaders. And we probably spent 20 weeks starting in mid-February and all the way up through the end of the summer, just hammering that with both the senior and junior class. As far as kids with a lot of experience, every one of those seniors and juniors have played significant amount of snaps for us at some point in the last 2 years. So we're excited about the experience, and we're excited about the leadership of both of these classes. And we got high expectations for them.
Offensively, what have you seen that you like so far?
The experience, just having that game experience and understanding what's coming, and actually getting to play good Oak Park, Fort Osage, Grandview, and of course, Kearney and Smithville, of having experience playing some of the top programs in the Metro, I think has benefited us, and it's made us work harder to get to where they're at.
Defensively, I know that's your side of the ball. What are you going to look like this year?
So last year I was the offensive coordinator.
Oh,
And
that's
so
right.
that was a big change, and I loved it for a little bit. It's not my wheelhouse. I'm back on the defensive side. I was able to go grab Joel Matthews from Excelsior Springs. Since Fob retired, semi-retired high school wise, and went to Jewel, I was able to pick him off over there. And so I'm back on the defensive side of the ball, and it's going to be the same as normal. Coach Slice is the one going to call it. And so we're going to be multiple on what we do. And we're going to play fast, and it's going to look like we're blitzing every play.
Well, I know that the Tonka community is a good one. And they, I bet they're hungry for some more wins this year.
We are. We got to ring that bell a little bit more this year. The kids had a lot of these kids that haven't really had a chance to ring that bell, because the freshman class, or Benny's last year was a freshman class, and they rang it 5 times that year before, and we've only rang it really once, even though we got that second win. But we've only rang it once, and they're waiting to ring it a whole bunch this year.
Well, Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck. We appreciate you taking time with us.
Absolutely, Dan. I appreciate you. Thank you.